Hello, everyone. This presentation is a summary of Project Management course in Week 3. This video outlines the essential steps for defining a project, moving from the initial scope statement through to execution planning. Following these structured steps is crucial for project success. The foundation of any successful project is a clearly defined scope. Project scope is the definition of the end result or mission of a project, and it must be described in specific, tangible, and measurable terms. The importance of this step cannot be overstated. In fact, a poorly defined scope or mission is the most frequently mentioned barrier to project success. A well-crafted scope statement provides focus throughout the project's life and is used by the project owner and participants as a critical planning tool and for measuring project success. A comprehensive scope statement is built from several key components. First is the project objective, which details what the project seeks to accomplish. For example, an objective might be to plan a wedding and honeymoon to Italy for 1 year from now with a budget not to exceed $35,000. Next are the deliverables, which are the tangible goods or services produced. In a home building project, deliverables would include the house complete through final inspection and landscaping complete. Milestones are significant events that mark progress, but have no duration themselves. Examples include invitations mailed or foundation complete. The scope also includes technical requirements, which are the specific criteria the project must fulfill, such as ensuring a home meets all building codes. Finally, limits and exclusions define what is not part of the project to manage expectations. This could state that guests pay for any travel and accommodations, or that architectural plans and permits are already approved. Every project manager must navigate the inherent trade-offs between three competing demands: performance or scope, schedule or time, and budget or cost. A project priority matrix is a tool used to manage these trade-offs formally. For each of the three parameters, stakeholders decide whether to constrain means the parameter is a fixed requirement. Enhance means this criterion should be optimized. Accept means a reduction or failure to meet the original target for this criterion can be tolerated. Once priorities are set, the project work itself must be broken down into manageable pieces. The primary tool for this is the Work Breakdown Structure, or WBS. A WBS is a hierarchical outline that identifies the products and work elements involved in a project. It defines the relationship of the final deliverable to its smaller subdeliverables and is best suited for projects with tangible outcomes. This structure is invaluable to a project manager. It facilitates the evaluation of cost, time, and technical performance, helps manage the plan, schedule, and budget, and assists in assigning responsibilities to teams and individuals. The WBS is organized into descending levels of detail. Level 1 is the entire project, such as custom house. Level 2 consists of the major deliverables, like foundation or structure. Level 3 breaks those down further into subdeliverables, like framing or roof. The lowest level of the WBS is the work package. A work package is output-oriented. It defines the specific work to be done, how long it will take, its cost, the resources needed, and the person responsible. As a rule, a work package should not exceed 10 workdays or 1 reporting period. It is critical to remember that a WBS is product-oriented, not action-oriented. Therefore, there are several elements that should not be included. Do not include elements that are work efforts instead of products, such as design engineering or requirements analysis. Program phases like development or test are also inappropriate as WBS elements. The WBS should not be based on the structure of the program office or functional departments, and it should not be used to track general costs like meetings or travel. These are managed separately. With the what of the project defined by the WBS, the next step is to define the who. This is accomplished with a responsibility matrix, also known as a linear responsibility chart. An RM is a chart that summarizes the tasks to be accomplished and clarifies who is responsible for what. It clarifies interfaces between individuals and units that need coordination. A common framework is the RACI chart, which assigns roles for each task. R stands for responsible, the person who performs the work. A is for accountable, the person who owns the work and has final approval. C is for consulted, experts who provide input. And I is for informed, people who are kept up to date on progress. Finally, a formal communication plan ensures that information flows correctly throughout the project. This plan is developed by performing a stakeholder analysis and answering 5 key questions. What information needs to be collected and distributed, such as project status or milestone reports? Who will receive this information? When will it be communicated? Weekly, bi-monthly, or as needed? How will it be communicated? Through email, meetings, or formal reports? And who is responsible for providing the information? The project manager, a team recorder, or the project office? In summary, defining a project is a structured, multi-step process. It begins with a clear and detailed scope statement to prevent misunderstandings. It requires establishing clear priorities to manage the trade-offs between cost, time, and performance. The work is then broken down into manageable pieces using a product-oriented WBS. Roles and responsibilities for that work are clarified with a responsibility matrix. And finally, a deliberate communication plan ensures all stakeholders remain aligned and informed. Together, these tools form the blueprint for successful project management. This concludes our presentation on the essential steps for defining a project. Thank you for your time and attention.